What's up, y'all? Welcome to another edition of Comic Book Flashback. Today we are looking at X-Men issue number 98. This issue came out in April of 1976, and as we look on the cover today, we have the return of the Sentinels. This is the first time that this new cast of X-Men are going to be fighting the Sentinels today. The Sentinels have proven to be a very common foe to the X-Men over the years, and so this is the first time that this new X-Men fights the Sentinels. And so we have a great looking story for you today. The title of this issue is The Sentinels Are Back. Enough said. And so we have a lot of things going on. So before we get started, go ahead and give this video a like, and then also subscribe if you have not. And let's go ahead and get started. As always, this is brought to you by Chris Claremont doing the writing, Dave Cockrum doing the artwork, Sam Granger doing inking, Joe Rosen and Janice Cohen, lettering and colorist, and Marv Wolfman on the editing. And so we have a white Christmas here. This is a Christmas issue. And we have all of the X-Men here. They're all in New York City. And we have, Nightcrawler, we have Colossus, Storm, Jean Grey, we have Scott Storms, Banshee, we have Maury McTaggart, Wolverine. Everybody seems to just be having a festive time here. Everything is just going really good here. I mean, it's just, we love Christmas. Everybody loves Christmas. It doesn't matter what area of the world you are living in. Christmas is always just a great time to be with your friends and family. And so everybody's just having a great time. Everybody, again, is in a festive mood. We have here that even Colossus and a very disguised Nightcrawler here, they're flirting with these two women. Banshee says, "Hey, Maury, I'm going to go take you around the city just to go sightseeing." So it looks like Banshee and Maury McTaggart have struck up a relationship here, it looks like. They even ask if Wolverine wants to tag along, and Wolverine's like, "I have no use for Christmas, bub." And so we have Jean Grey and Scott Summers. They're going to go into this Rockefeller Plaza here, and there seems to be a mistletoe. And Jean Grey, I mean, as beautiful as ever. I mean, Scott Summers is so lucky to have her. And she's just trying to let Cyclops just let down his hair a little bit, just relax a little bit. He needs to stop worrying about Havoc and Polaris and what happened last issue as they tried to kill Professor Xavier and the X-Men. We'll have to worry about all that as well in this issue, whether they play a role in this issue. But she's like, "You need to relax," and she's like, "Just kiss me already." And so they kiss. We also see a guest appearance of Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. So they actually make an appearance in this comic. It's pretty cool to see. And he said, "They never used to do that when we did the book." And then Stan Lee's like, "These young kids, they have no respect." And so everybody seems to be having a great time again. But all of a sudden, Cyclops and Jean Grey are distracted here as the Sentinels come on the scene. They bust through the ceiling of this plaza, and now all of a sudden peace has turned into chaos as these two Sentinels are after Jean Grey and Scott Summers. And so now the Sentinels have truly returned. So we have Cyclops here. He's using his optic blast to try to take down this Sentinel here, while Jean Grey is using her telekinetic abilities, and her telekinetic powers have strengthened since 1969. And so she easily takes out this Sentinel, and Cyclops tries to do the same, and there we go. That one Sentinel is done for. Now they got to worry about this other Sentinel. The Sentinel takes out Cyclops. Jean Grey's like, "If you've killed him," and then we have the Sentinel uses his knockout gas, and so that knocks out Jean Grey here. And so now Jean Grey is captive to the Sentinel, and the Sentinel has now taken off with Jean Grey. So now Jean Grey is a captive with this Sentinel. And the Sentinel thinks that Cyclops is dead, but we come to find out that Scott Summers is still alive, and he's hanging off of this radio tower. I mean, he's about to fall at 60 feet if he falls from this thing. So now he's desperately seeking the help of the X-Men. Banshee's nowhere to be seen, but who's going to save Cyclops? So we see just the falling parts of the robot falling off of this building here. People are panicking, And then Banshee, he notices something's up. So he said, "Oh my goodness, saints preserve us all. That's a Sentinel." And so somehow or another, Banshee knows about these Sentinels. And so Banshee, if you've read the X-Men in the past, Banshee knows about the Sentinels because he's fought them in the past. And so Banshee alerts the other X-Men. The X-Men have never fought, these X-Men have never fought the Sentinels, so they're very clueless as to how they are and what they look like. But Wolverine's always up for a fight, so he's going to join in with the fight as well as Storm. And so here we go. We have Storm here. She's flying up. She sees that there's somebody dangling from this radio tower. It just so happens to be Scott Summers, so she saves Scott Summers. But then we see right here that there's a Sentinel right behind Scott Summers. He tries to take out Scott Summers again. Storm's like, "You will not take me. You will not destroy me." And so what she does is she causes a hurricane to be over New York City. I mean, this is how powerful Storm is. She throws the Sentinel into this man-made hurricane, and Cyclops is like, "Storm, you got to stop this. You're going to destroy New York City." But she says that she has total control of her abilities, and so she instantly takes care of that Sentinel by destroying him in a hurricane. So let's see what Professor Xavier is up to in this issue. He is in the Bahamas. We come to find out that's where he's at. And he's with his friend. His name is Peter Corbeau. And so Peter here, he is known for a lot of things. He works for the binary system, but one thing in particular is he works for StarCorps. And so what Professor Xavier did on this little trip is he's trying to tell Peter about his dreams and how they keep seeming to be so real. I mean, he's been having these dreams 100 nights straight about this Starfleet, this battle, and he keeps seeing this face behind this mask, and he just doesn't understand what's going on. Peter's like, "Look, I've been trying to tell you, I haven't found nothing in the space, nothing in the outer space, nothing seems to be off balance here. And I think you just need to go get some professional help." So all of a sudden, while they're talking, and it looks like they're fishing as well, we have a line go down on the fishing pole. Like, "Oh, you've caught something." Well, they've caught something, all right. It is a Sentinel. A Sentinel comes out from the ocean. And so the Sentinel is after Professor Xavier. Professor Xavier's like, "You may have found me, but capture me is another matter." And so we have Professor Xavier uses his mind blast, takes down this Sentinel. So everything seems to be in such chaos. And then Professor Xavier again has lapses in memories about his dream again all of a sudden. And so Peter's like, "Oh my goodness, he's lost his mind." Then here comes another Sentinel, destroys the boat, and now Peter Corbeau, I don't know how you say his name, but it's Peter here. He's launched into the ocean. He comes to surface, but now Professor Xavier is now hostage as well with the Sentinels. And so now we come back to base, and look who's in charge. It's none other than Dr. Stephen Lang. We know that he's always been trying to take down the mutant kind ever since he reappeared. And so we know that Stephen Lang here is trying to set up this project called Project Armageddon. And Project Armageddon basically is his project to exterminate mutant kind. So the three mutants that are hostage in his little base here is none other than Wolverine, Banshee, and Jean Grey. These are the three mutants that have been taken captive here. And so we have a little bit of a dialogue, and we have all of these scientists here, and they're like, "Dr. Lang, we've never seen any readings like the Wolverine. Is he really a mutant?" And he's like, "Keep it up, bub. You just wait." And we have Jean Grey here. She's like, "Where's your swastika at, Lang?" And he's like, "I'm not a Nazi, but I am seeking to destroy you and all the mutants." And she's like, "Well, why are you after the X-Men?" And he's like, "Because you and Charles Xavier and Cyclops, you're the heart of the X-Men. If I take out the heart, and I destroy it, then the X-Men are done. And so if I can destroy the X-Men, then the Sentinels will have no problem taking out the rest of the mutants in this world. And so that's exactly what Dr. Lang is about. He slaps Jean Grey. Wolverine has had it. He does not like seeing a woman get beat up by a man, so he breaks through his imprisonment here, and so now we have a battle on hand as the Wolverine is taking down all of these group of scientists. Dr. Lang's like, Sentinel T-20, take down this mutant, dead or alive. And so now Wolverine here, he launches and just smashes through this Sentinel with no problem. Dr. Lang runs away from the scene as the Wolverine is now on a rampage here. Wolverine saves Banshee and Jean Grey. They both suit up, but now Jean Grey has to worry about fighting in her evening nightgown. So Wolverine takes things into his own hands by ripping Jean Grey's dress almost too short. And he's like, anytime, Red. So now we have the problem of trying to escape this base here where Dr. Lang has held them captive, but we have to worry about Professor Xavier as well. Wolverine's like, what are you going to do? You're going to carry him around while we're fighting all these Sentinels? And so we're going to find a way. Is that clear? All of a sudden, here comes just a onslaught of Sentinels here, as, one Sentinel after another are coming after these mutants here. And so they start tearing into these Sentinels one after another. A lot of action here. Great story. I love the story. Wolverine here, he gets taken captive. He can't use his claws as the hands of the Sentinel are blocking his way. But Jean Grey uses her Mind Blast to distract the Sentinel here. And so this one Sentinel down. It seemed that one thing we need to take clear is that the Sentinels are being easily destroyed here. So maybe these are not the prototypes. Maybe these are just Sentinels that are still being worked on by Dr. Lang. We're not too sure. But Banshee's like, we got to get out of here. And so he grabs a hold of Jean Grey and Wolverine. He's using his power here, as we know that he has supersonic power here to through his own vocal cords. It's like a big scream. So he's taking down all of these Sentinels, and all of a sudden, the E stops. And so what's this all about? We'll come to find out here very shortly. So the rest of the X-Men, they're back in the X-Mansion. Cyclops has been using Cerebro to try to track down Wolverine, Banshee, and Jean Grey here. And he just can't find them for some reason. He's checked the whole landscape of the world, and he's just not been able to find them. Nightcrawler's like, man, you just need to give it a rest. You've been trying this for 4 days straight. And all of a sudden, we see that somebody has come on the premises of the X-Mansion. They let him in, and it's none other than Dr. Peter Kerboy. And he tells them that, look, you've been searching for the X-Men in this world, but the X-Men are not on the Earth. The X-Men are in outer space. And so that's where we leave off on this issue. How are the X-Men going to save Wolverine, Banshee, and Jean Grey? We're going to have to find all this out in issue number 99. I hope to see you there. Until next time, see you later.